What's going on, duelists? This is Darius with the Game State, and we're here with Brian today. What are we doing a profile?
Punk with a bit of spice. Ideally, for Punk, 3 Almond. This card is a 1 card combo. Anything that searches you Almond, 3 Foxy Tune, 3 Ogre Dance. So these eat up a lot of hand traps, and it allows you to keep extending on forward. They're also able to special themselves. It doesn't really come up, but each one of these cards allow you to go full combo. Then 2 Deer Note. 2 is fine. You don't want to have 3. 3 is usually a brick. Um, 2 never really comes up. It only really comes up if you have a bad hand. Then usually 1, you're winning the game by then. Then for the Oneups, Madame Spider, Wagon, and Shirakusai. In my particular build, I think that Wagon is much better than Shirakusai. I know most people run 2 Shirakusai, but it can sometimes be a brick, and you would pretty much would rather start off with Almond as opposed to a Shirakusai. It also allows you to, it fusion summons itself, and it also allows you to Synchro. So I had a game where they book a moon one of my Punk monsters, and I normal summon Shirakusai, and I was still able to fusion summon. Wagon, this allows you to do everything. You only run 2 spells, and the spell just allows you to keep drawing into more gas. Also, if your opponent activates anything that targets a monster, a Punk monster, you draw a card. And then Madame Spider is for the traps. And after the spice part of the build, I run Gold Pride. This is a new archetype that came out. Excuse the mismatch rarity. I'm still looking for another Starlight. But this is a new archetype that came out. And they all activate from your hand if you have less life points, which is why they go really well with Punk. Usually with full combo, you'll be at 5,000 life points usually. And these also allow you to extend. So usually you hold off with this card in your hand, and they'll nib you. By then, they'll nib you, and then you're still able to have these cards in your hand. You're able to keep extending and play. When this card is summoned, it searches you any Gold Pride trap. Currently, there's only 1, and yeah, I'm waiting for more support. 2 Nitro Booster. This card is just basically a beat stick. It summons a token on your opponent's side during standby phase, which shuts down cash. Also, during the main phase, quick effect, you can pop the token to pop zones adjacent to it. So spells and traps included. This card's really great. It's a free level 8, and it's a free level 8 body for level 11 synchros. Also exceeds rank 8. And then the 1 Leon. This card's kind of a brick just because it's a tuner itself. It does special summon any non-warrior Gold Prides from your graveyard, but it locks you into Gold Prides for that turn. And considering that there's not enough support for the deck, it's pretty bad. You only have 1 target. Well, you have 2 targets, but 1's bad. Yes, that's it for that. Now for the hand traps. 3 Nib. 3 Ash Blossom. Oh, then 1 Ogre Dance. Ash and Nib is just really good this format, especially Nib. And then Ogre, and then Ghost Ogre. I said Ogre Dance. Ghost Ogre is for because you're able to search it, so it's another interruption, and it's free. There's a lot of good field spells out nowadays, so.
Yes, it is.
And now for the spells. 3 Utility. Oh, bro, please. This is 1 card combo. So full combo for this deck, it's just these 2.
Really?
So yes, so this allows you to go into all your Punk engine, and then this is just gas at the end. So after they nib you, you just keep playing.
Wow.
And then usually nowadays I try not to end on Shirakusai and Shirakusai pass, just because Lava Golem and Sphere Mode are a thing. So primarily my end board is usually just the Psychic and Punisher, which doesn't seem like much, but I'm at 5,000 life points already as it is. and I have a lot of interruptions. I draw a lot, so there's a high chance I'm going to have hand traps in my hand, as well as the searchable traps for interruption. Oh, also base out Ash. If anybody asks you V-Tail, you just win. Because why would you do that?
Why would you?
Yeah. 2 of the Jam Extreme Session. This card is amazing. So you're able to banish a punk from your graveyard to summon a punk from your hand, and then anytime you pay life points to activate a psychic effect, you draw a card. So you're able to chain block when you activate your Akusai. So usually Chainlink 1, Amazing Dragon, Chainlink 2 this. And then it also triggers off a Psychic and Punisher, which I run. Now for the GoPro part. GoPro, the Craggle's Wild. This is something I'm testing at the moment. It's kind of a break just because there's not enough support. This is usually what I side out first. So you reveal a Gold Pride in your hand to add another Gold Pride, and then you can special summon a Gold Pride from your hand, and then you lose life points equal to the attack. So usually this, and then Psychic and Punisher, along with all the life points you paid for your punk stuff, your Psychic and Punisher usually really thick by the end of it. This lets me turbo out Nitro Booster really quickly if I'm playing against K-Seer, which is what I want. Also, it's Foxy Tune fodder. 2 Triple Tactics. This card's great. As it is, my deck already eats up a lot of hand traps. And depending on the situation, usually I'll look at my opponent's hand and take something out anyways to make it even harder for them to play and try to out my Psychic and Punisher or whatever I have. I usually don't take a monster unless I really need it. And drawing 2 is just, free. Now for the Goblin. So this card automatically activates all my Gold Pride cards. It also gives my opponent 1,000 life points, which makes my Psychic and Punisher even thicker, and it's a free draw.
Yes, sir.
Now for the traps, 3 Imperm. It should have been a part of the hand traps, but yeah, it's essential. It's really great. It plays around Triple Tactics, which this deck does really well, by the way. It plays around Triple Tactics really well, and Thrust. Next up, we have 2 of the Starter Engines. So this is what you search off of carry. And whenever your opponent summons a monster, you're able to target the monster, reveal 3 Gold Prides from your deck, special summon 1, and then pop the monster. So this is it's like a Ghost Ogre on summon. It plays around cash because it doesn't trigger their effects, and it also pops him on summon, so they can't plus. Only downside is, of course, they'll just summon something else anyway. So I guess this plus Nitro Booster kills them, and then Gabu. I have a love-hate relation with this card. Even though it's at 1, it stays in my hand, and it kind of kills my Madame Spider, which makes me a little upset. But it's Imperm as well, and with these here, I'm able to play around Thrust and Triple Tactics as best as I can, and usually by then, they can't out my Psychic and Punisher. So that's it for the main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck, we run the 1 Carp. This card is Ash Bait usually. Usually, if you dedicate yourself to this line a lot, you usually just have to pass sometimes, which that kind of sucks. So I've been trying to play around it, and this card is actually really great going second. Or when your opponent just passes because they can't out your Psychic and Punisher, having this card still in your extra deck to keep extending on your Punisher for OTK is even great. For the XC's part, 1 Bamboozling, 1 Gearsu. I kind of want to add Hope Harbinger, which is what I was running for a while, but it doesn't really come up. This outs Avermax, which this deck does struggle with, so it's why it's in here. And so for Bamboozling, you summon out a lot of free level 3 bodies anyways. So it's a form of interruption, and it just draws. The downside is your opponent draws, but you also get to draw. Also, there's a little goo tech with my side deck with this card.
You want me to wait?
For the links, one alpha. If your opponent is dumb enough to give you a contact C, you just summon a P.U.N.K, and then there you go. Also, Castira. So I'll snatch away their Fenrirs and whatnot
So they
and
can
keep
bring it
playing.
back off the
Yeah.
bird. Yes, sir.
And then I know Ninja's kind of popular nowadays. So depending on circumstance, if they have a level 8 body in their graveyard, which they will, I'll just snatch it and then XE plays for days or keep it sending. The Goo, Cross Sheep. To this day, I will try to put this card in every deck. This card allows you to play around Dimensional Barrier. So let's say usually by this time, you activate Sharkusai. I mean Carp. They activate Dimensional Barrier and they call, for example, they just call Synchro. So you're left with 2 bodies. Usually you bring out your Deer Note, and you would bring out your Gabu usually. You Gabu to search the trap, and then you link those 2 away for Cross Sheep. And then Deer Note effect, you summon Carp back into a pointer, and then Cross Sheep activates, and you summon back Shirakusai. So ideally, that's how you play around Dimensional Barrier. It's very niche. It comes up every now and then, but the fact that you're still able to play around Dimensional Barrier and still get off your Amazing Dragon line is really great. So this card's really great. Also, Link Climb. And it makes your Synchros a lot beefier. So I love this card. People say it sucks. I don't think it sucks. And then Lambda. I was running Gamma in here at first, but I hated opening Driver every game, so I took it out. This may be a unicorn, and the reasoning behind it is I think the scare called Tryhard. I don't want to run into a situation where I can't out that card.
Yeah.
And same thing with Bagusta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Unicorn is what I'm probably going to change this with. This isn't bad if you have second and Punisher, I guess, but it is what it is. Now for the Synchros, the one gold probably do run. I used to run 2, but this card has a mandatory effect where if you activate the first effect, it puts itself back in the extra deck, and you summon a gold Leon, which is the one of from your deck or graveyard. So the first effect, if you have less life points than your opponent, you can target a card your opponent controls. This card gains attack equal to that card, and then you pop it if you have less life points.
Nice.
So this card plus nib is game. So let's say you nib your opponent for however much, and they don't have any back row. You just turbo this out, pop the nib token. This gains the attack and just attack with both.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a free OTK. The effect is mandatory, which kind of sucks, but it's why it's a one-off. It just keeps recycling itself. Omega. So as I said earlier, with tactics, you eat up a lot of hand traps, and if you're able to go for like full combo and not use Deer Note and not use like, and this only comes up if you have 2 Deer Note. So you summon this and you eat up another card in your opponent's hand to put less cards in their hands, and synchroing this off into a level 11 is really good because you just shuffle this and another card in your graveyard back into your deck. So it's crack. It doesn't come up as much, but it's either run this or Draco Berserker. And because Castira is a thing right now, I kind of don't want to run Draco Berserker. And I think second and Punisher is the end goal boss monster for this deck.
It always has been.
So I would prefer that over that. One Barone. So as I said earlier, Castira, and then Alpha. So I'll just snatch up their Fenrir, or any Castira for that matter. Bring out a P.U.N.K, and then go into Barone, obviously. In my side deck, I also run 2 Fenrir. I think Fenrir is better going second. I used to run it in main deck, but not anymore. Also, this just brings out another Fenrir if you negate anyways as it is. Now onto the P.U.N.K stuff. 2 Jam Dragon Drive, 2 Amazing Dragon, 2 second in. So the reasoning behind 2 ofs is that these cards are really important to P.U.N.K. I remember when I first made the build, I used to run 1 of each, 1 in Punisher, one Dragon Drive, and then 1 Amazing Dragon, and Unicorn killed me. So that's why I run 2 of. This doesn't come up as often, But having 2-second in Punishers is just game. They can't really do much. Amazing Dragon, usually for the synchro effect on your opponent's turn to float. And then the second one, if you still have it, you just bring back a punk monster and you're able to extend even more. Yeah. Oh, this card, if your opponent responds to any of your punk cards, you just summon this back for free.
Nice.
It's why I run it as a one-of, but because of Unicorn, I have to run it
Yeah.
at 2.
Before you go, Brian, I want to get your thoughts on the next big set that's supposed to come out, Cyberstorm Access. What are you looking forward to in that set?
I think Libro is getting support. Libromancer Origin. It's the continuous that lets you search a field spell and whatnot. I still have my Libro build. It's just free. The card is just really free, and then every time you ritual summon a card, you pop a spell or trap, and then your ritual monsters gain attack like 100 life points per level, 100 attack points per like level.
Mhm.
So that's really good. Oh yeah, Gold Pride gets the rest of its support in Cyberstorm Access, I believe. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. Depending on how things go with that, I may have more Gold Pride names and targets in my deck. I know for sure we're getting another extra deck monster, which is what I'm really excited for. Another level 11, I hope. And Blackwing. I think they finally get their last like support card. It's I can't remember the name, but it's a free pop if you control a dark synchro monster. It just banishes itself and you can pop a card in the field. Yeah, I also play Blackwing, so I'm really excited for that card.
All right, well, thank you, Brian, and this is going to conclude the deck profile. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and always remember to advance the game state.